Have you ever noticed how uncomfortable silence makes people? Not just the awkward pause in a conversation, but the kind of deep, heavy silence that lingers, the kind that feels like it's staring back at you. Most people will do anything to avoid it. They fill every empty moment with noise, notifications, background music, endless scrolling, mindless chatter. But why? Why does silence, something so natural, feel so threatening? This isn't just a social quirk, it's psychological, it's philosophical. It reveals something profound about human nature and about why deep thinkers often find themselves alone. From the moment we're born, we're surrounded by sound, crying, speaking, laughing, teaching. Noise becomes comfort, silence becomes absence. But silence isn't empty. It's not a void. It's a mirror. And that's what makes it terrifying, because in silence we meet ourselves. No distractions, no filters, just raw thoughts, unedited emotions, and the uncomfortable truth that most people spend their lives trying to avoid. Philosopher Blaise Pascal once said, "All of humanity's problems stem from man's inability to sit quietly in a room alone." And he wasn't wrong. Stillness forces us to confront the parts of ourselves we hide, the unresolved pain, the false beliefs, the gnawing sense that we're more than what we pretend to be. So we run, not physically, but mentally, into entertainment, into consumption, into performance. And in doing so, we drown out the one voice that matters most, our own. But deep thinkers, they go toward the silence. They aren't afraid of the stillness. They crave it, because they know that true understanding, true awareness doesn't come from the noise of the world. It comes from stepping outside of it. They don't just think, they reflect, they question, not to be different, but because they are different, not better, just tuned in to something most people never slow down long enough to hear. Yet, this difference comes at a cost. Just like intelligence can be isolating, so can depth. People who are comfortable with silence often find themselves disconnected in a world obsessed with noise. They struggle with small talk. They don't chase trends. They aren't interested in arguing for the sake of winning. And because of that, they're often misunderstood. In social settings, their stillness is seen as aloofness. Their quiet is mistaken for weakness, their desire for solitude as antisocial or even arrogant. But what if it's the opposite? What if silence isn't emptiness, but depth? What if solitude isn't loneliness, but clarity? Modern psychology backs this up. Studies show that people who are comfortable being alone tend to score higher in creativity, emotional resilience, and self-awareness. But here's the paradox. The more comfortable you are with yourself, the more uncomfortable you make others. Why? Because your calm reflects their chaos. Your stillness exposes their distraction. Your ability to sit in silence challenges their need for constant stimulation. It's not personal, it's primal. Our ancestors survived in groups. Being isolated meant danger. That fear of being alone is still wired into our biology. So today, when someone chooses solitude, the herd instinct sees it as suspicious. When someone withdraws to reflect, society labels it as weird. But wisdom often lives where noise cannot. The greatest thinkers in history, from Lao Tzu to Nietzsche, found their insights not in conversation, but in contemplation. Still, there's a burden. Because the deeper you go, the fewer people can follow. The more you embrace silence, the more out of sync you feel with a world running at full volume. And that's hard. It can feel like you're walking through life underwater, speaking in a different frequency no one else hears. But here's the truth. You don't need to be loud to be wise. You don't need to be surrounded to be understood. And you don't need to fear silence, because silence is sacred. In silence, you find yourself. In solitude, you become yourself. So the next time the world feels too loud, when every voice is shouting and every screen is flashing, when the pressure to respond, to post, to perform is overwhelming, step back, breathe, and listen to what's beneath the noise. Because while most people run from silence, deep thinkers know silence is where the truth lives. This is the thinking threshold, where stillness isn't weakness, it's wisdom. And if that resonates with you, you're not alone. You're just ahead.